Hey English learners, welcome back to LearnEng, your cozy little corner of the internet where we learn real English together, one easy conversation at a time. I'm David, and today we're going to talk about something that touches every single human life, without exception, without exemption, without asking permission. Change. Big change, small change, change you chose, change that chose you, change that arrived quietly one morning and rearranged everything. Change that you fought against for months and then one day realized had already happened while you were busy resisting it. Every conversation about life eventually becomes a conversation about change. And knowing how to talk about change naturally and expressively in English, that's what today is about. Let me start with something personal. 3 years ago, I moved to a completely new city. New neighborhood, new routines, new coffee shop, new walk to work, new faces everywhere. And I remember the first few weeks feeling this strange mixture of excitement and grief that I didn't quite have words for at the time. Excitement because everything was new and possible and open. Grief because everything familiar was gone. The old coffee shop where they knew my order. The route I could walk in my sleep. The faces that recognized mine. Both feelings at exactly the same time, and that tension between the excitement of what's new and the sadness of what's left behind, that is one of the most human experiences there is, and it lives right at the heart of every significant change. Today we're going to talk about that, about change in all its forms, the language to describe it, to discuss it, to process it, to connect with other people around it. Because change is universal. But the English vocabulary for talking about it, really talking about it, that's what most learners are missing. This is a B1 level episode, perfect if you're intermediate. If you're A2, stay with me, you'll understand more than you expect, and the second listen always feels clearer, I promise. Before we jump in, if LearnEng is helping your English grow, please like this episode and subscribe to the channel. Every like, every subscribe, every share brings more learners like you into our LearnEng community, and I genuinely love reading your comments, so come say hello after you listen. Okay, let's talk about change. First, let's understand something important about how English talks about change, because there is a whole spectrum of change, from tiny daily shifts all the way to life-defining transformations, and English has different language for every point on that spectrum. At the small end, gradual, barely noticeable change. Things have been slowly shifting. Something has been changing without me quite noticing. It's been a gradual process, almost invisible day to day, but significant over time. Little by little things have been different. In the middle, significant but manageable change. Things have changed quite a bit recently. There have been some big shifts in my life lately. I've been going through quite a transition. A lot has changed in the past year. At the large end, major, life-altering, everything is different change. Everything changed overnight. Nothing has been the same since. It turned my world upside down. It was a complete turning point. It changed the course of everything. That phrase, turn my world upside down, is incredibly vivid and incredibly common. It means something completely disrupted the order and stability of your life, not slightly rearranged, completely flipped. The diagnosis turned her world upside down. Losing that job turned my world upside down in the best possible way. Actually, it forced me to find something better. And turning point, this is a moment when everything changes direction. Before this point, life was going one way. After this point, it went another. It was a real turning point in my life. That conversation was a turning point. I think about it often. Now let's talk about the different types of change that come up in everyday English conversations. Change you chose, deliberate, intentional change. I made a deliberate decision to change direction. I decided to turn over a new leaf. I chose to step away from something that wasn't serving me anymore. I made a conscious choice to do things differently. I took the leap and never looked back. Turn over a new leaf. This is a beautiful and very common English idiom. It means to make a fresh start, to change your behavior or attitude deliberately and positively. After the difficult year, he decided to turn over a new leaf. She turned over a new leaf, and it changed everything about how she felt. Change that happened to you, change that arrived uninvited. It came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming. Everything changed overnight, and I had no say in it. It wasn't something I chose, it just happened. I had to adapt to something I never asked for. Life took a completely unexpected turn. Took an unexpected turn. This phrase means something developed in a direction that was not anticipated. The conversation took an unexpected turn. The year took an unexpected turn, and everything I'd planned was suddenly irrelevant. Change you resisted, change you fought against before accepting. I didn't want things to change. I fought it for a long time. I was resistant to it at first. I clung to the way things were. I kept hoping things would go back to how they used to be. Eventually, I had to accept that things were different now. I made my peace with it in the end. Made my peace with it. This is such a human and natural phrase. It means you reached a state of acceptance about something you couldn't change. Not happiness necessarily, just peace. Acceptance. A quiet letting go. It took a long time, but I made my peace with it. She made her peace with the decision and moved forward. Now let's talk about the emotional side of change. Because change is never just practical, it always carries feeling. And having the English to describe those feelings makes your conversations so much richer and more real. When change feels exciting and positive, I feel like I'm finally moving forward. Something has shifted and it feels right. I feel like a new chapter is beginning. There's something really energizing about starting fresh. I feel lighter, like I put something down that I'd been carrying too long. It feels like the right time for this. I'm ready for something new. When change feels difficult and overwhelming, I'm struggling to adjust. Everything feels unfamiliar and it's exhausting. I feel like the ground shifted under my feet. I'm grieving something even though it wasn't a death, it was just a change. I don't know who I am in this new situation yet. I'm in a period of transition and it's uncomfortable. I'm finding it hard to let go. That phrase, grieving something even though it wasn't a death, I want to stay with this for a moment. Because this is a genuinely important idea. Grief is not only for death. You can grieve the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, the end of a chapter of your life, the person you used to be, the life you thought you would have. These are real losses, and naming them as grief, even small grief, is honest and it's healthy. I was grieving the old version of my life, even though I knew the change was for the better. When change feels both good and hard at the same time, it's exciting but also terrifying, both at once. I'm glad things are different, but I miss how things were. It's the right change, but that doesn't make it easy. There's relief mixed with sadness. I feel hopeful about what's ahead, but nostalgic about what I'm leaving behind. Change is strange. You can want something and grieve it at the same time. That last sentence, you can want something and grieve it at the same time, is one of the most honest things I can say about change. You can choose to move to a new city and still cry about leaving the old one. You can accept a promotion and still miss the simplicity of your old role. You can end a relationship that wasn't right and still feel the loss of it. These are not contradictions. These are the full, complicated textures of being human. Now let's talk about change at work, because this is where a huge amount of change-related conversation happens in English. There have been some big changes at work recently. The company is going through a restructure. My role has evolved quite significantly. We've had a lot of turnover lately, people coming and going. The whole team dynamic has shifted. Things are quite uncertain at the moment. Nobody knows exactly what's coming. I'm adapting to a new way of working. The changes have been challenging, but I think they're for the better in the long run. Restructure, this means a company is reorganizing itself, changing how it's set up. Often this involves people losing jobs or moving to different roles. It can be unsettling. We went through a major restructure last year. It was a difficult period. The company announced a restructure and nobody quite knew what it meant for their position. Turnover, in the context of people, turnover means how often people leave and are replaced. High turnover means many people are leaving. Low turnover means people stay. There's been a lot of turnover in the team. it's been hard to maintain continuity. High turnover is often a sign that something needs to change in how a team is managed. In the long run, this means over a long period of time, not immediately, but eventually. In the long run, these changes will be beneficial. It's painful now, but in the long run, it's the right direction. Now let's talk about change on a personal level, the kind of conversations people have about their own lives. I'm at a crossroads right now. I feel like something has to change, but I'm not sure what yet. I've outgrown my current situation. I'm ready for the next chapter. I've been the same person in the same place for too long. I can feel it. Something has to give. I'm in a period of transition, and I'm trying to be patient with myself through it. At a crossroads, this is a beautiful and very common expression. A crossroads is a place where two roads meet, and you have to choose which direction to go. At a crossroads means you're at a point in your life where you need to make a significant decision about your direction. I'm at a crossroads in my career. I need to decide what matters most to me. She's at a crossroads and taking her time to make the right choice. Outgrown to outgrow something means you've developed beyond it. It used to fit you, your job, your relationship, your city, your routine, but now you've grown past it, and it no longer suits who you've become. I've outgrown this role, I need more challenge. He outgrew his hometown and needed to see more of the world. Something has to give. This means the current situation is unsustainable. Something has to change because it cannot stay the way it is. I've been trying to do everything and I'm exhausted. Something has to give. When you're running on empty like that, something eventually has to give. Now let's talk about advice and encouragement around change, because English learners often need to give and receive this kind of language. When someone is afraid of change. Change is uncomfortable at first, that's normal. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth is permanent. You can't stay in the same place forever and expect different results. Sometimes the thing you're most afraid of is the thing you need most. Trust the process, even when you can't see the outcome yet. When someone is going through a difficult change, give yourself time to adjust. This doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself through this. It's okay not to have everything figured out right away. You don't have to be okay with it immediately. It's okay to need time. One day at a time, that's all you have to do. When someone is on the other side of a change. Look how far you've come. You adapted, that takes real strength. You're not the same person you were before this, and that's a good thing. The change that felt impossible is now just your life, and you did that. Before word tour, your mission for today. Think about one significant change in your life right now. It could be something you chose or something that happened to you, something big or something quietly significant. Write 3 sentences about it in English. Use this structure if it helps. Recently, there has been a change in my life. It has felt. The one thing I've learned from it is. 3 sentences, honest, real, yours. Post them in the comments if you want. I will read every single one. And whatever change you're navigating right now, I believe you have what it takes to find your way through it. All right, my friend, time for word tour, our slow vocabulary walk through today's most useful words and phrases about change here on LearnEng. Take your time. Repeat after me out loud if you can. First phrase, turning point. A turning point is a moment when everything changes direction. Before it, life went one way, after it another. That conversation was a real turning point for me. She described the moment as a turning point. Everything was different after it. Turning point, turning point. Next phrase, turned my world upside down. This means something completely disrupted the order and stability of your life. It turned my world upside down in the best possible way. The news turned her world upside down and she needed time to process it. Turned my world upside down, turned my world upside down. Next phrase, turn over a new leaf. This means to make a fresh start, to deliberately change your behavior or attitude for the better. After a difficult year, he turned over a new leaf. I decided to turn over a new leaf and approach things differently. Turn over a new leaf. Turn over a new leaf. Next phrase, took an unexpected turn. This means something developed in a direction that was not anticipated. The year took an unexpected turn and everything changed. The conversation took an unexpected turn. I didn't see it coming. Took an unexpected turn. Took an unexpected turn. Next phrase, made my peace with it. This means reaching a state of acceptance about something you cannot change. It took time, but I made my peace with it. She made her peace with the decision and moved forward. Made my peace with it. Made my peace with it. Next phrase, at a crossroads. This means being at a point in your life where you need to make a significant decision about your direction. I'm at a crossroads in my career right now. She's at a crossroads and taking her time. At a crossroads, at a crossroads. Next word, outgrown. To outgrow something means to develop beyond it. It used to fit, but you've grown past it. I've outgrown this role, I need something new. He outgrew the city and needed a bigger world. Outgrown, outgrown. Next phrase, something has to give. This means the current situation is unsustainable. Something must change because it cannot continue as it is. I'm doing too much, something has to give. When everything is at maximum, something has to give. Something has to give. Something has to give. Next phrase, in the long run. This means over a long period of time, not immediately, but eventually. In the long run, this change will be beneficial. It's hard now, but in the long run, it's the right decision. In the long run, in the long run. Last phrase, trust the process. This means to have faith in what you're going through even when you can't see the outcome yet. Change is uncomfortable, trust the process. She kept reminding herself to trust the process even on the hardest days. Trust the process, trust the process. Those are your 10 phrases for today here on LearnEng. Turning point. Turn my world upside down, turn over a new leaf. Took an unexpected turn, made my peace with it. At a crossroads, outgrown, something has to give. In the long run, trust the process. Pick 2, write your own examples, say them out loud. That is how they become yours. And here we are at the end of another LearnEng episode together. I want to say something before we go. Change is the one thing in life that is absolutely guaranteed. You can plan for it, you can resist it, you can embrace it, you can grieve it, you can celebrate it, but you cannot avoid it. And having the language to talk about it in English with honesty and precision and feeling means you can process it better, share it better, connect with other people around it better, because the changes that are hardest to carry are always the ones we try to carry alone, in silence, without words. You have the words now, use them. Your mission, 3 sentences about one change in your life right now. Post them in the comments. I am reading every single one. And tell me, where in the world are you at this very moment? What does today look like where you are? I love knowing where our LearnEng community is living its life right now. If today's episode helped you find the words for something you've been going through, please like this video, subscribe to LearnEng, and share it with one person who is navigating a change right now and needs to know they're not alone. I'm David. This has been LearnEng, your cozy place to learn real English one conversation at a time, and I'll see you in the next episode. Change is not the end of your story, it's how your story keeps going. Bye for now.